Welcome to the Face-to-Face. I'm your host, Genevieve Kyle Lefebvre. Face-to-Face is a bilingual series of video recorded here in Coquitlam. We acknowledge that Coquitlam is located on the ancestral and unceded territory of the Coquitlam. We thank the Coquitlam people who continue to live on these lands and care for them along the waters and all that is above and below. Today on the Face-to-Face, we're welcoming Linda Kozina and Bill Marshall from the Crossroads Hospice Coffeehouse. Welcome to both of you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So my first question for you today is, how is the Crossroads Hospice Coffeehouse fundraiser started?
Well, it started in my basement. I was hired as the first executive director with Crossroads Hospice, and I was hired to create awareness of what a hospice is in a community. So a hospice is a home for the dying where there's dignity, compassion, and choices. And our community did not know what the word was or what a hospice was. So that was my role. And through that role, all of a sudden, we were building a hospice. We had enough awareness in the community, and the community wanted it and wanted to fund it. It was $2.6 million we had to raise.
Wow.
And that's what we had to do, was create awareness first. And they said to me, we don't have the money to pay you. We want you to leave your job at Canada Trust as a bank teller and start raising some money. And what experience do you have? And I said, I used to sell oranges on my husband's soccer team and chocolates at Christmas time. So that's how much experience I had. But I learned a lot really fast because Tracy Price was our capital campaign chair. And she had done a couple of big campaigns, and she said, I'll mentor you. So she did. Nobody learns how to do any of this on your own. You have to be mentored.
One at a time.
One at a time, yes.
But as musicians yourself, knowing lots of others,
Yes.
you had an idea.
I had an idea that music connects everybody. So let's do a coffee house. So we started it in our basement, and after we had about 30 people coming regularly, I asked my neighbor next door, who is David Lowe, if he would help me come up with some ideas, where we could move, how we could do this. And David jumped in right away and said, yes, I'll help you. So we ended up at the Elks Hall, and then we were at the Port Coquitlam Inn and Suites for a little while. And then the city started building what's now called the Gathering Place. And I sat on that community for 2 years as a volunteer, so I could get Crossroads in, just so you know. Yes.
Yes.
From day one.
From day one, yes. And then the city of Port Coquitlam gives us the space. And we moved there in about 2006? 2008, and we've been there since.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's where the music
That's where the
evenings
music
takes place.
Yes.
And that is a fundraiser. And was it the first fundraiser that was created to fund the hospice?
Oh, we had many. The Hot Club of PoCo, which was a group,
Yes.
used to play at book fairs, and they would set up their cup and then give us the money from all the books we collected. We'd do anything for $1 those days.
Oh yeah,
There's
the
the
mission
hike
was
for
there.
hospice. And
Yeah, Hike for Hospice there was, and of course the funding. My role with Tracy was to go out and ask corporations if they would sponsor a bedroom for $50,000. And we had 10 bedrooms. And then we had a bunch of volunteer decorators come on, and they decorated each bedroom differently. And the great room and the music room and the healing room were all decorated.
Yes.
Big project.
So now, if I understand, there was a need. Money was donated, so you were able to build. And then after this, there was decorations. $50,000 per room was raised. And then what was the next step after that?
Then we had to get staff to work in the hospice.
Okay, yes, of course. Nurses, doctors?
Doctors, nurses, kitchen staff, laundry staff, housekeeping staff, all of that. And that's when I took the role as the hospice manager. So the executive director's job was given to Barb Henham from the community,
Okay.
who was also a volunteer at Crossroads Hospice. And both of us came with a lot of heart. That was the thing. We had
Yes.
a lot of heart. And we wanted to see the hospice, and we wanted to see it used and utilized in the community. So after we got all the staff, then the little frills came, like the music program.
Okay.
Yes.
And who started the music program? A certain person or?
It was in person, yes.
person.
So we picked musicians who were regulars at the coffee house that we knew would be comfortable to sing for an hour in the hospice. Because you can't have too much. You have to sit and be comfortable with people who want to talk or not, be comfortable with their tears, be comfortable with their stories. So you need a certain kind of visiting musician that goes into
Good with the tears.
hospice.
I wouldn't be so good.
It's all right.
It would be very difficult for me. I see someone that is suffering, and I sit with them and I cry even if they don't cry. It's horrible. But I don't know if I made them feel better. But I think the compassion is, I don't know, as we get older.
Compassion is a big part of
Oof.
it. Yes, and empathy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And empathy, right?
Yes.
Okay, so the vision was created now. So now things were happening.
Yes.
And the coffee house kept presenting live music to keep raising money.
That's right.
And now I'm
Yes.
understanding it's still going on. Because how
It's
many years
still-
ago was that?
25
Okay,
years ago.
You guys are celebrating 25 years.
Yes, we
okay,
are.
I get that now.
Yep.
So 25 years ago, the coffee house was started, and now it's still happening today. So what are you guys doing to celebrate that beautiful milestone?
Well, we're having a coffee house.
Okay.
And my husband and I will be the features that start the first part of the program. The second part of the program is
You want me to? I don't know. Who is it?
Rob Turner. his group.
The side project.
The side project.
The side project.
Oh, okay.
So
Yeah.
Mark and I are going to be the first half, and I'm actually going to tell some stories about music in the hospice, as well as in the community.
So when is that 25th anniversary date is?
It's going to be at the Gathering Place in Port Coquitlam on Friday, November 22nd.
Okay, so is there tickets or how can people,
It's
just show
it's
up?
a donation at the door.
Okay.
That we $10 cash. We can only take cash, and they can donate at the door when they come in.
So far, we've not gone the ticket route for being overly full,
Okay,
but we can supposedly cram 88 people in there.
okay,
but
that's good.
I don't think we've hit that.
Okay.
We've been
Before,
close.
we'll see.
but, yeah,
Yeah.
we'll see.
So Linda and your husband Mark, you've been known as the sweetheart couple.
PoCo
PoCo
Sweethearts.
Sweethearts.
PoCo Sweetheart. Can you tell me a little bit more about that story and why have you been named the PoCo Sweetheart?
Well, we've been married 54 years. And I came home one day and Mark said, I think we should be the PoCo Sweethearts. We have to give ourselves a name. It sounded okay to me, so that's how we started. But he plays more than I do. He's been in a couple of bands that raised money for the hospice. The Hot Club of PoCo was one. And just anything to do with music, my husband's involved in. He's an electrical engineer and was a manager at BC Hydro. But this was a little side job that he did. You don't get paid for it. It's all volunteer.
Oh, I
Yeah.
know that. I think we all know that. It's very interesting to see the amount of time that you've been giving, because I'm sure if you were not on stage, you were still behind the stage organizing, making sure everybody's having a great time, because you want people to want to come back.
That's
want
right.
to give again, right?
That's right.
Create family.
Yes. And we have an amazing audience that comes out. Bill and I were just discussing that. We were saying that the people who come out are there to listen to music, because so many places where live music is played, you have a bar, you have eating, you have conversations
TV
going on, the
screens.
TV screens around. It's not like that with us. We established from day one, you're here to listen to unplugged music. So we started off just with the guitars or whichever musical instrument and a voice, no amps, no anything. And the chairs were set up in a U shape, and people listened, and they liked it because they weren't having to compete with all this other stuff that's going around. They were there to listen to the
So it's a
music.
great listening audience and has been for 25 years.
And the musicians like to come. And Bill has people phoning us from Vancouver that want to come out and play. I want to play again. When can I come? So they really want to come. First of all, they're doing it for a cause. And secondly, they know they have a captive audience who will listen to their songs and their stories.
So it's a different space compared to people are talking
Yes.
and you're trying to talk to people, but people are in their own conversations. And
That's right.
Yeah, I can see that. So what happened during COVID? Now it was
Nothing.
Nothing.
Absolutely nothing.
Everything stopped, right?
Everything
You had to stop.
Absolutely nothing. Yeah.
And you were able to start slowly, and then now it's full on again.
It's full on again. Yeah, thanks to Bill.
Thanks to Bill. This is the first.
That's the first
Poster,
poster I
right?
did for the Hospice Coffeehouse. I was trying to remember how I got involved, and I guess, I don't know. But I ended up, they asked, can somebody do promo? And so I started doing the poster work, and then Mark and I would drive around the Tri-Cities, putting up the poster in all the libraries and Starbucks coffee houses, because they had a
do have a
bulletin
community board, the Starbucks,
community
right?
board, and Long and McQuaid and Tom Lee Music, and that was our first effort at trying to get the word out. And I actually found, when I was looking in the folder for that, our first email list, which was about 40 people, that we would create a PDF and send that out to. It's well over 400 now,
Yes.
and is one of our main ways of advertising.
Reaching out,
So,
emails.
yeah.
That's great. And now talk to me about this, Linda. You took this out of your scrapbook and brought it to us. Fiddler on the Roof helped raise the hospice roof.
Okay, so we had raised most of our funds to build the hospice. We were still short $660,000.
Oh, wow.
And the roof was already on, the hospice, and the shingles were on, I have to admit. But Terry Fox Drama Club and music program was putting on Fiddler on the Roof. So we had this idea of getting a young girl or a boy to come up with a fiddle and play Fiddler on the Roof, and we called Tri-City News. So I'm just looking at this thinking, no safety belt. She's standing on the top of the roof. How could we even ask her to do that is beyond me. We'd never do it now.
No.
Too many safety rules. We'd have to have the firefighters there with their big bucket or something.
Holding her, basically.
Holding her.
I know,
But
right?
here she is up playing Fiddler on the Roof. And that's how
amazing.
and we sold the shingles for $100 each,
Wow.
to try and get the final money that we needed to buy sheets and towels and all that stuff we
to
need
start
for the
whole
hospice.
thing.
Yes.
Wow. So the coffee house has helped raising soon $100,000.
Yes.
And what's going to happen when we actually raise $100,000?
We'll present a check to them. We've been giving them the money all along, but
Yes.
we'll present a check for $100,000, and then we'll see if Bill wants to keep going with it, and if I want to keep going with it, or what we're going to do, Bill.
So you have to decide. And do you have anybody that is interested to kind of maybe taking it off your hands and continuing it?
Nobody steps up.
No.
I've been doing the tea and coffee since 2006.
Have you?
Yes.
Okay, so
I-
maybe anybody out there that is a
Yeah.
musician, that has that wants to get involved into a great cause, a music cause for our community. Talk to Linda and Bill. I don't know. We never know where those interviews goes. It goes out
We'll
there.
have to retire someday.
We will. Yes.
We will.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Okay, and we did touch a little bit on this, but I want to expand a little bit more. What kind of community the coffee house, the Hospice Coffeehouse, has created?
Well, for one thing, anyone who's bereaved can feel like they can come in and listen to music without having somebody hit on them for a date, or like you would expect if you went out
Okay.
for the night. So the bereavement clubs the bereavement groups can come in. There's a club called the Meetup group, and that's a lot of single women and some single men too. We've had some of those come in they're not looking to date. They just want a night out somewhere where they don't have to worry about anything. They can gather as a group, cost $10 to get in, and they can listen to 2 hours of really good music.
One of the features of a coffee house, and why it's called a coffee house, is because there's coffee. And there's tea and cookies. So that has always been a feature of coffee houses, because you take a break in the middle of the music so that everybody can relax and get a cup of coffee or tea and cookies and stand around and talk. So it's a pretty warm social event. The musicians really enjoy it as well, because if they have a CD to sell,
Yes.
they can get out there and talk one-to-one with people in the audience and sign
Connect.
the CDs.
Yes. Is it
all-
what you have there? I see there's a CD there.
There is a CD there. Not this particular one, but I guess any of the 18 musicians on this could have done that. So some of our star musicians came together and each donated a tune
Yeah.
to this CD.
And,
So
and this was part of a, excuse me, I butted in.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. This was part of the fundraising to build the hospice. So we had the coffee house going for a while, and somebody said, why don't we make a CD? We said, okay. So that's what we did. We made a CD.
Love it. And
Yeah.
okay, read the names to me. Who's on it?
Well, one in particular
Okay.
who lives around here, lives next to the Coquitlam River over here, a long, long time ago, was Steve Sanis.
Okay.
He's won a Juno Award for Best Music Teacher in Canada
Wow. Okay.
since then.
Yep, since then.
So a number of people who are on here have since become a lot more famous than they were back then. Some people are still trucking along. There's Fraser Union, which has been a trio. They were, I think, the first or second group to play.
Yep, absolutely. They came from Vancouver
and they
wanted
they
to play.
still play almost every year. Les Finnegan, who's kind of a renowned fingerstyle guitar player.
Pridewind was a bluegrass and fiddle, and they were a big hit for
Yeah.
us several times.
Roy Robinson, the casual crooner. He's not with us anymore, but he was just well known in the community for that. Yeah. So Lowry Olafson, who's been
He has his own. He has at least 8 CDs out
in his own channel.
and his own channel.
Yeah.
Yep.
So yeah.
So you know they were birthed at our coffee house. Really, they were.
lot of
because they
people
were
have
new. We met Lowry as a musician down at the New West Quay, and I said, "Would you come
Okay.
and play at our coffee house?" Yes, for sure. And he's appeared many times, but now he has his own CDs, and so it's just, you just make friends. Like, you gather and connect. As you use that word, it's so important to connect with people.
And musicians are connected to each other, so
Yes.
they will talk.
Yeah.
To each
And
other.
So I used to have to send a fellow out who helped me organize it, Doug Rawling, to all the other music venues to scout for new groups that we could bring to the coffee house. But since that time, they call me. I don't have to scout anymore. The word spreads, so it's really nice.
So how many times a year are you presenting? The coffee house?
16 concerts a year.
Okay, so more than once a month. I guess Christmas is there. Is it
No, we take
Christmas?
December off because
Okay.
everybody goes to choirs.
Yes.
Everybody's busy, right?
July and August we
we-
take off too.
Well,
yeah.
but during the summer,
Yeah.
during the summer,
Summer. Okay, so during the summer, George and Linda Balzer are running the Sunday concerts in Port Moody, and that's
Rocky Point,
Rocky Point.
Oh,
Sunday
okay,
afternoon.
yes.
Yes. So that's where they are.
And what funds from that
Go to the hospice.
as well. So there's
So
two
that's,
music
that-
programs.
That's 2 music programs.
Okay.
And there's ours, which is the music that's actually in the hospice with musicians.
Okay.
Yeah. So lots of music keeping this hospice.
Well, I'm sure like areas or 3 streams of income for the hospice, and that continue still today, bringing money and helping funding the hospice.
Yes. I shouldn't say that the musicians that go into the hospice, we're not streaming money for them.
No. No. I'm talking for the
They're not.
to fund.
The other 2, yes.
To fund. So what's the hopes for the coffee house. You did touch a little bit that you've been doing it for a long time, and how long are you going to still do it? Or there's a big milestone coming in front of you now very soon. So what's next?
Well, as long as the audience comes out and as long as we can get some volunteers, we'll keep it going.
Yeah.
Because it's a delightful part of our community and appreciated by people who like live music and appreciate live music.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes.
So tell me, any words of wisdom before I let you go?
It's a very happy event.
It is.
Yeah.
You know, there's never been any kind of issues ever that go on there. People just come in and they mill around and they talk and socialize and they sing.
Yes. When
They
we have
sing. We did a. My wife and I did it. We're the other Will and Kate. Did a concert there a couple of weeks ago, and we did pop songs as part of it. Put a little love in your heart.
Yes?
Yes.
And you can just count on that audience lighting up.
Absolutely.
And we went to choir the other night, and one of their mottos is, if you join a choir, you never miss a sing. And it's like that at the coffee house.
Yeah.
Everybody
Because
sings and
most of the
enjoys.
acts will do songs that you can sing along to. So people very much enjoy singing.
Yes.
Yeah. And it's such a community builder within the community of Port Coquitlam, which is a tight community anyway.
Absolutely.
You know, we have Terry Fox and
Yes, we do.
And the Terry Fox music program, which Steve Sainus ran the rock school there.
Yes.
That's what he got his Juno for.
Yes.
Yep.
And Wayne Sawyer and his wife Sid. Wayne was the director of the music program there. And 2 weeks ago, the musicians playing there, one of them, they're called Generations, of Father John and his daughter Caitlin, who's 16 years old and in the music program there. They're an act, and they're great.
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
I have looked at the lineup of people that has performed. It is quite impressive.
Yes.
It's a long, long list.
160 plus.
It's amazing to see the amount of work that came into these events. What I like, it is a fundraiser, but it's also bringing the community together. And I think we all touched on when COVID hit how we can be isolated and how it is important to be part of something.
Yes.
And I think you've been creating this. That's why I think don't stop after the 25th anniversary
We
of
won't
the
be
25 years.
stopping.
Don't stop.
No.
And then it's a pleasure to have met both of you. And I'm going to have to put the date on my calendar. Maybe we can go and say hi. Right?
Thank you. We'd
That'd be
love to
great.
have you there.
Absolutely.
Yes. One of the Sir Optimists is helping me make 100 cupcakes. So that day we're going to graduate from cookies to cupcakes.
Wow, for the coffee house. I love it. So thank you, Linda. Thank you, Bill. It was a pleasure to see you today and get to talk with you.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Okay.
From the Tri-Cities Community Television and myself, Genevieve Kyle Lefebvre, thank you so much for joining us today.